The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that your week is treating you well. And a subject that I'm finding so many of us are dealing with is having all of this change around us. Like we're shifting into the fall, and it's not always smooth sailing when we make that shift. When we are moving in a direction in our life, perhaps an area that's a little bit new, frequently it's not this graceful, smooth climb that we're looking for, or slope in our life. There can be a lot of storms. There can be a lot of things that get shaken up in that journey. Excuse me. And as we're on our journey together today, I want to be real with you. I'm going to invite my guests to be very real and candid with you, sharing from our hearts that I never want to mislead and have you think that everything just works smoothly every day and we bring and do and launch the next new thing and celebrate that. That there's a lot of beautiful plateaus, beautiful rises that we get to take, and then there are challenges along the way, and there are losses in that, mixed with celebration and richness. And so today, I want us to be very real and candid, and I hope that we're always real and authentic with one another on our show and in this time that we spend together. But today we're talking about sharing your life, sharing your message. And that includes the shiny, amazing parts that we get to celebrate together. But it also includes some of those parts that are a little bit harder to share, create a little bit more vulnerability. And I have special guests on the show today. They're good friends of mine, amazing leaders, have a powerful message and heart to serve and give. And they've recently, all of us actually, have been in a book that's recently been published where we're sharing not just how we do things and how you can shine, but kind of the realness of life too, and our wisdom as you navigate through that journey to really empower you. I want to have you ready to receive as we're talking about your life, your message, your journey. It's a sacred journey. The way you're made, who you are, where you are now, where you're called to go, is powerful and needed. So this is a sacred opportunity we have to come together, taking a huge breath together and support all of us on our journey in this heart space. So I want to open your heart so that you are ready to receive whatever it is that we are called to share. So interesting, as I was getting ready for our time together today, I have an outline, so I always have the outline, but I also had laid upon my heart a willingness to be open and really call forth whatever it is that you're needing today to serve and support you on your journey, to really be open to that and to be open to you getting what you need. I always hope that you do, but I just had an especially strong leading that there's something you particularly need today. And I want you to get it. You're coming really needing something specifically to support you on your journey. And I want us, all of us, to be open to creating that space for you to receive it and perhaps even give you that peace today on our time in our time together. So those of you who are driving, please stay alert and safe, both hands on the wheels, eyes open, no texting and driving. For those of you who are able to really set apart a moment here and close your eyes, put both feet on the floor, feel that chair supporting you as you lean back. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, really intentionally and purposely bringing all of you in. And in that stillness, open your heart to receive, your ears to hear on even a new level, and your eyes to be able to see the vision, see those next steps you're called to move into. And in this space, what is it that you need today? What is it that will feed your heart, nourish your soul, inspire and encourage you on your journey? It can come in a picture, an image, a memory, a word. Whatever it is, I invite you to receive that information. And go ahead, when you have received it, open your heart. Your heart, I hope, is open, your eyes, and come back into the room. Please capture that information. Write it down, what it is that you need or are receiving. It's so easy in the pressures of life, in the hustle and bustle, to forget what it is that you need, what it is that you're looking for, what it is that will serve and support you. So I want you on the lookout for it today and claim it. I claim it for you. Breathe that in. Wonderful. Our two guests today are the amazing and powerful Karl Bobo and the powerful and dynamic Dr. Anita Jackson. And Karl, I wanted to see if you would mind sharing something that was laid upon your heart, either for you to receive or for you to share and give today.
Good morning, Rebecca. First of all, I just want to just say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this show, especially with two wonderful people that I really just truly admire, respect, and love, both Rebecca Hall Gruyter and Dr. Anita Jackson. So first of all, I want to just say thank you for that.
Absolutely.
As I said earlier, when I think about preparing my heart to give, I have to spend a lot of time in meditation and prayer. Mm-hmm. It's something that really helps me get focused. I have a closet in my house that I'm able to kind of go into, walk in, and close the door, and I literally prostrate myself on the floor and just spend some quiet time. And it's something that has just worked for me over the years to get focused.
Beautiful. That quiet time, that centering, receiving, beautiful. Thank you. And It is an honor to have you on the show, Karl. I'm very glad to have you. And Dr. Anita, did you have something laid upon your heart?
I did, Rebecca, and thank you so much. I, too, want to echo what Karl said. It's an honor to be on the show again with you and to be in the company of Karl Bobo, the infamous Karl Bobo, and to have you both be a part of our book. And I'm glad we're going to be talking about that later. But what was laid on my heart as you were speaking and talking about that, sometimes during those seasons of change, it can be really challenging to get grounded. And so what was laid on my heart was that it's during those seasons of change when things are becoming chaotic and crazy, that's a sign that you're actually heading in the right direction and that things are happening this way to help you release what no longer serves you, so that you can step into the newness of what will serve you as you continue to move forward in your life. I know that's what I'm experiencing, and I just felt like that's something to share with your audience as well.
Perfect. Thank you. I think that's really, really valuable. As we go through change and transition, there is a leaving of something behind and a stepping into the new. And that's not always a pain-free process to be candid in it. And I think the grounding and the prayer and the being willing to carve out time and a space, I love how you shared that, Karl, a space in your home that you can really build the practice of listening, of pausing, of receiving. I think especially when you're going through change and transformation, that you need to nourish yourself, protect yourself, really have clarity in what you're doing, and remember why and how you're moving in the direction that you are, because it's so easy for life to hit and distract you and to get hard at moments. And if you can keep that clarity of purpose, it'll encourage you to keep moving forward. So I want to encourage all of you today who feel like you're in the eye of the storm, and there's all this craziness, and sometimes you're not in the center where it's peaceful. You feel like you're in the storm. I want to encourage you that you are not alone, and you absolutely can step into that center. You can take a breath and a moment, even if it's 1 minute, to remind yourself of who you are, where you want to go, what you choose to bring more of in your life, and what you choose to release and let go. Sometimes we're trying to hold on to things that are no longer our things to manage and move forward in. Sometimes we're holding on to things that do not serve while we're trying to reach for that new thing, and we can't always make the stretch without releasing and moving into. And I just want to encourage you to honor that process, and whatever it is that you need to serve and support you on your journey, that you're willing to receive that and bring that in. Let's take a breath again together. Beautiful. And I also want to remind you, I know we're speaking in this heart place and a more serious, candid place, that there is a lot to celebrate in these journeys and transformation as well. And one of the things that we're going to celebrate with you as we've gone through this journey, both Karl and Dr. Anita and I, in bringing forth this book, we've experienced the wide range of emotions and transformation in that, and celebration in how many lives it's been touching and will touch. So we will celebrate with you when we come back from our commercial break. But I invite you to take a moment and really listen to what it is that you need to serve and support you today, and know that we are right here with you, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. We're having candid conversations about sharing your life and sharing your message, particularly when you're in a place of transition or transformation, that it's not always the smooth rose garden experience that can happen along the way. And I just wanted, and I promised though, before you're going to the commercial break, that I would share something that we can celebrate together, because I think it's important when you are in the thick of it to remember there are moments to celebrate too. I think it's important to remember that wide range that we get to have and experience in life. And so the thing I wanted to share with you today is a vision that my good friend Dr. Anita had. And this was around creating an anthology, a book that would help support and transform people's lives, that she wanted it to be this living, breathing book that people could use as a resource, that she pictured it. I love when you shared this with me, Dr. Anita. You pictured it on people's shelves and dog-eared and tagged and marked and highlighted because it's a living book that people are using day in and day out to serve and support them on that journey. And that was a dream and vision that was planted on her heart. And here's what she did with that, because sometimes we can leave the dreams on the shelf, get to them someday, because they're not always easy to say yes to and to bring forward. So what I love about Dr. Anita is she said, yes, I'm going to bring this forward. I'm going to lead this charge. And not only do I see the book experiencing that, touching many, many people's lives, I also see it becoming a bestseller. I see it spreading throughout the world. And today we can stand before you and share that's exactly what has happened. It's not dog-eared yet, but it has become a national #1 bestseller in multiple categories, and we did hit #1. And so I wanted to take a moment and acknowledge that. Dr. Anita, I want to thank you for holding that vision and bringing it forward. And I would just like all of us to celebrate with her and all of us that we get to be part of this and help bring transformation to so many people. So a round of applause.
Thank you.
Sound effects. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Dr. Anita, with that, I wanted to explore a little bit more of your heart and why you do what you do. But is it okay if I first give a more formal introduction so they know who you are? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Of course. So Dr. Anita Jackson is the founder and CEO of AMJ Productions and Publications. She's a senior executive producer and TV host of Outrageous Success Women's TV and Radical Men's TV. She is a publisher of several online magazines and now the new proud producer of the best-selling book, national, or is it international or national? National?
National. Uh-huh.
Someday we'll make it international too. Best-selling book. Becoming Outrageously Successful, a women's guide to finding her purpose, fueling her passion, unlocking her prosperity. It is my privilege and honor to officially welcome you to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Again, I'm so honored to be here with you and Karl.
Glad to have you. Now, can you share with me why this work of helping people live outrageously successful lives? Because I've noticed that you consistently, it's not just successful lives, it's outrageously successful lives in so many different mediums. Why is this work so personally important to you?
You know, Rebecca, at the very core of my being, I am passionate about healing hearts, minds, souls, and spirits so that we could have the best relationships with God, ourselves, and others. And when we are able to have those types of relationships, it empowers and infects our personal lives and business in a very powerful way. And I just want more people to understand they have a divine birthright to live outrageously well, however they choose to define that. I want them to define it first and foremost, and then to go after it with your whole being so that we can really create this tipping point of joy, of living life abundantly, of living life the way I believe God has created us to live it. And this book is a resource to help all of our readers learn how to do that.
Can I ask you something off script and personal about this?
Sure.
I could feel her leaning in to that.
I am. I'm like, okay, what are you going to ask?
How do you personally define an outrageously successful life? How are you defining that?
You know, Rebecca, that's a fantastic question because that definition has changed for me over the years. And what I have landed on and where I am living from now is the more I am being who I believe God created me to be without needing the approval or the acceptance of others validating that truth, then I am living outrageously well. And it has been a journey for me to come to that truth for me. And now that I'm here, it is really impacting my business. It's impacting the relationships that I have. It's impacting the opportunities that are constantly coming to me. Some I'm so excited to share in the next few months because I finally decided to live unapologetically according to the way I believe God designed me to live it. And that is literally impacting my life, and others are being impacted by it because I'm being true to who I was designed to be.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing and letting me go there with you. I appreciate that. And this whole concept of living unapologetically, I think we spend too much of our time afraid of ruffling feathers because it's uncomfortable to ruffle feathers. It's uncomfortable to have somebody not like us in some way or be offended or have something about us trigger something in them. And that can be an uncomfortable place to be. But it also is a really powerful place to be because when you're willing to be who you are, when you're willing to speak your truth and not water it down so that it's pleasing to everyone's ears, then your message and voice can truly be heard. Absolutely. And there will be a reaction, right? There will be. Mm-hmm. Because what we say may not always be what people are comfortable hearing. And I'm not saying, listeners, I'm not saying let's go out there and just rattle every cage we can find. I'm not talking about going to that level of extreme. But I want to make sure what you're called to share, that you're willing to share in the way you're called to share it, that you're willing to ruffle a feather or two, because I guarantee you someone's going to be so served, so encouraged because they finally could hear your voice. And it's exactly the message they needed to hear in a way they could hear it. So I just want to encourage all of you who are feeling a bit of a storm or you're starting to stretch your limits a little bit in your comfort zone because you're starting to share your life on a different level and share your message on a different level, that you're actually being called forward to do that. So I want to encourage you on that journey. And Dr. Anita, I appreciate letting me take a moment to focus in on that. But I think it's so critical and important, this living unapologetically, because there's not another one of you out there. You are the gift, and we need your unique voice and message. So listeners, please lean into that. It matters. Taking a breath. Now, I know you have a big global calling on your life, Dr. Anita. And you're being moved in so many different directions to serve in so many different ways. And that can be stretching. It can be increased visibility, which can be great because increased impact, but it also can be increased vulnerability that goes along with that visibility. And you keep moving forward, and you keep sharing and bringing forward what you're called to share forward. And I didn't know if there were any other pieces of wisdom that you wanted to share with us that journey has brought forward in your life that is laid upon your heart to share with our listeners today.
You know, Rebecca, it's so interesting because as I continue to listen to what you're sharing, my heart is so deeply moved. I believe that this is the time, more than any other time in our history, that more women specifically, but people in general, but women specifically, to really step forward. And stepping forward in knowing that I am enough to be outrageously successful and to change not only myself, but my family, my community, and then eventually the world. And like you said so beautifully earlier, we can't do it alone. We need each and every voice, each and every personality, each and every challenge that an individual has gone through serves a greater purpose of us coming together and living life, fully and outrageously well. And so I'm just excited that I am on this journey. It hasn't been an easy journey, but the rewards and the benefits that are coming are greater now than they've ever had been before, because I'm finally operating in my truth, and I want that for everyone else just as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. I think we forget that. We start thinking that we're alone in the world, and we forget to look up and remember it's not a solo journey. So I repeat that a lot. It's not a solo journey. There is a community. We are with you energetically, in spirit, and physically supporting you on your journey. And when we can keep coming together and remembering that, we can become unstoppable. That's how I believe we make global change. Is heart by heart, life by life, saying yes, and then reaching our hand out to another. And sometimes it's reaching forward, sometimes it's reaching back, and sometimes it's reaching to the side, or even down, helping someone back up again. Because we all stumble, we all need encouragement, and we all need to remember that we matter. And I love your message, because I know it's so core to you, about I am enough. And I know there's actually a special exercise that you help people with when you do I am enough, right? And
right.
Do you mind leading us through that? We have just a minute or so before our break, and I thought this would be a good moment to empower us to remember that message. So walk us through that.
Absolutely. So there's been a lot of research that shows that when you are standing in the power pose, or another way to say it is you're standing in the Superman pose, so your legs are shoulder width apart, your hands are on your shoulders, and if you're looking in a mirror, looking soul to soul, and when you make the declaration, I am enough, and you say it with such power and force, as being Superman or Superwoman, you have a neurological experience in your brain. Your brain actually shifts because of the new power that's surging through your body by pushing out your chest, raising up your chin, and saying, I am enough. It will literally transform your life. So,
perfect. We are stepping into our commercial break. So let's do this as we do that. Ready? Hands on the hips, Superman pose or Superwoman pose. On the count of 3, let's do this together. 1, 2, 3. I am
enough. That's right.
Fabulous. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit Facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you had a good commercial break there, that you got a chance to listen to our amazing sponsors that help make this show possible, and that you really leaned into I am enough, coupled with it's not a solo journey. And our next guest is the amazing Karl Bobo, and he has such a passion and heart to help others embrace the one chance we get at life. Like, this is what we get to do. This is our moment. It's not a dress rehearsal. You don't get to come back and let's try that again. This is just a rough draft. Like, this is the life we get to live. And he has a real passion for helping people fully embrace that. Karl is a best-selling author, entrepreneur, life and business coach, speaker, TV show co-host, and the CEO and founder of Choose to Embrace Life. It is my privilege and honor to welcome the amazing Karl Bobo. Welcome.
Welcome, Rebecca. Thank you so very much once again for having me on the show, especially with two powerhouses as you and Dr. Jackson. I'm just honored.
Oh, thank you. I got all fluffed up with that, so thank you. I appreciate that. I want to have a powerful impact, and I know that Dr. Anita does, and that you do as well. But I'd love for you to share with our listeners why this work of choosing to embrace life, why is that personally so important to you?
It's personally important to me for really a number of reasons, but for one, it's so clear to us is that we see so many people suffering with depression. There's so many people. Pharmaceutical companies are selling so much medicine because people just are really down on life. And as I was listening to Dr. Anita, as you all were talking a little bit about just some of the storms that we go through as we trying to fall into balance, it ties into this whole choose to embrace, because I personally believe that every person fits into one of three categories. Either we are currently in a storm, we're coming out of a storm, or we're headed into a storm. And I think most people don't realize that everybody goes through these cycles. They look at it and they think the grass is greener on the other side. No, it's not. It's that we've made a choice that we're going to deal with this. We're not going to allow the circumstances of life to just beat us down. We've made a conscious effort, and this is a message I want to get out to the audience, is that you can choose to embrace life. You can choose to have a good life. A lot of it starts with our mind. Studies have shown so many people have done remarkable things, whether it's strength or moving cars, just because of the power of the mind. So we've got to just open up our mind to possibilities of what we can do.
Beautiful. And I love that. Listeners, I'm just going to repeat something that he shared. I thought that was really powerful, if not always what we want to hear, that we are either in a storm, coming out of one, or headed into. And I think sometimes we can be a little bit naive about that, or feeling like, well, that's the last storm I'll go through. We're not really expecting storms in our life. We're just trying to get through them when they're there, and then we're looking for that smooth sailing moment. And I think that in reality, storms are a part of life, and just honoring that for ourselves and the journey of being in one, coming out of one, or heading into, that we're still making choices throughout that, whatever phase we are in that. But there are some smooth sailing moments too. I don't want to sound like it's always all about storms, but storms are definitely something that all of us experience and are going through and will again. And the more that we can accept that as the part of our journey and actually lean into the storm instead of trying to hide from it, can help us keep moving forward and making choices in that. So thank you, Karl, for sharing that wisdom and that perspective and helping us really, in a sense, prepare for the storms and know that we are still empowered in them and can make choices. So really beautifully shared. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I have a question that wasn't on the provided question list. Is it okay if I ask?
Sure.
I always give you guys a moment to prepare. Why, as a man that is passionate about helping people embrace life, why were you drawn to a book that is in the show even that's focused on empowering women? I believe personally it's important to have men as part of that journey and part of empowering women. We need their voices too. But I was so curious, as this being your first book, why this one spoke to you and you said yes and drew you in.
Well, the thing that really helped in that particular area, Rebecca, is that I'm just very passionate about women. I was raised by a strong mother. She overcame a lot of obstacles in life. Her parents died at a young age, but at the same time, allowed these circumstances to hold her back. She went and got her education and really got involved in the community, helping the community out. And I witnessed this living with her. And then I happened to marry someone who is equally as strong. Mm-hmm. And I said, I actually admire my wife probably more than anybody in life. Just because of how she carries herself and the things that she's overcome in her life, and at the same time reaching out to help others. So I'm a fan of women. I know sometimes people over the years have tried to put women down, but I actually look at when you say "woe man," a woman is it's just a man with the womb. Woe man. So we're equal. And I think it's time that women be put into a position where they make the same money as men for doing the same roles and respected for the job that they do, whether they're at home as a domestic engineer or not. That's tough. And I'm seeing things change in society, and it's a positive sign, which I really respect.
Beautiful. Well, and I love that you said yes to the opportunity to be part of this book and to bring your message forward and your heart towards women and towards people really embracing life. And I would love to give you a moment to share, because this is your organization, your company name, Choose and the number 2, Embrace Life. Do you mind sharing what is this about, this Choose to Embrace Life?
It's one of those that, as we look at individuals have a tendency to think that other people have a better life than they have. They've got dealt a better hand than they have. And I want people to understand, no. As you mentioned early on in the beginning of this program, we all have experiences. We all have difficulties. We all have storms. But you have to make a conscious effort on how you deal with that storm. For some, it's an obstacle that they can't overcome. For others, it's just a stepping stone that they step on top of, and it launches them to greater things. And I've always tried to make things simple, just like when we were back in school. You have to go past some tests before you can go to the next grade level. It's the same thing in life. We have to pass some tests before we can be elevated to the next thing that God has in store for us. So my mission is to help people work on their mind, because everything starts with their mind. Help people change their minds so that they can really accept the attitude, develop the attitude that I can really do all things, that I am enough, as Dr. Anita says. I don't need anything else. I have what it takes to be all that I can be. I just got to focus my mind right.
Beautiful. Listeners, I want to give you a moment to let that wisdom and information sink in. That you are enough, regardless of circumstances, regardless of storms, whether one is coming on, one is leaving, wherever you are in that process, that it begins with a choice. And do you choose to accept the mission of your life? It's your choice, but you are enough. You are not alone, and you have the opportunity every day, multiple times a day, to decide, yes, I'm going to bring forward what I'm called to bring forward. I'm going to be and become what I'm called to be and to become. And that's a choice by choice way to live your life, regardless of circumstances, regardless of the storms. And I want you to hear all of our hearts beating in that for you and for ourselves, because all of us here sharing with you are either in a storm, coming out of one, or stepping into one. We're right here with you on this journey, wanting to encourage you to step forward powerfully in your life. And Karl, I know that you put together an amazing gift. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about what your gift is that you're making available to us today?
My gift is it's an ebook. Everyone can log on to my website, choose2embracelife.com, and you can just give me some basic information and download an ebook that's going to really give you 6 principles that I believe that are needed to help you experience life at its highest. And it starts with that attitude. I'm not going to give everybody the rest of it. I want you to go to the website and download it so that you can read it yourself. But it's some good fundamental principles that if you take it to heart and you add it to your daily life, you can change your life and you can change it right now.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I love that cliffhanger, encouraging all of you, empowering you to make a choice. Yes, I'm going to lean into that. And I'm actually going to let you know where we've housed all of those gifts. So Karl shared his site. We also have put everything in a convenient place for you to be able to click one place and find the gifts that are being made available. Anita, when we come back, Dr. Anita will share with you her amazing gift, but let you know how to find them. You simply go to radiogifts.net, and it's Radio Gifts, plural, because there are multiple gifts, .net, that's N-E-T, and you will find today's date. You'll see Karl and Dr. Anita there, and their amazing gifts that they've made available to you. So you can lean in. I encourage you to do that on this next commercial break so you can discover those 6 principles that can move you forward, and it'll give you a little bit of a teaser for what Dr. Anita is making available for you as well. And when we come back, she will share with you more about her amazing gift and our exciting conclusion to this show. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had the opportunity to check out those amazing gifts that are being made available to you to really serve and support you in living the life that you are called to live and really sharing the gift of who you are with others. And I believe that's the greatest gift that we can really give someone else, is letting them be a part of our life, being willing to be authentic and transparent and vulnerable, letting them see us when we're strong and maybe when we're not as strong, and remembering to reach out, that we are not alone, that this is not a solo journey. I've been asked recently, several times this week actually, people have been asking me, how can I support you, Rebecca? What is it that you need? And I find I frequently don't have a response, because it's much more comfortable and familiar for me to see how I can help them than to really share, I need a hug, or I need encouragement, or I need prayer about this, or I need this practical way that I can connect or get something that I need. And I want to give you a moment today and really think about, like we started the show with, what is it that you need? And the next time someone asks you that, I encourage you to listen within and really see what it is that you need and be willing to share that. And extra credit bonus opportunity is actually asking somebody else what it is that they need, and see how you may be able to encourage or help them with that particular need, because this is not a solo journey. But we have to be willing to reach our hand out, or to reach our hand out to someone else, to receive, to give, to connect in a very authentic and real way. So let's breathe that in. Beautiful. And then, Dr. Anita, I wanted to make sure I gave you a chance to share about your gift. Some people got a little sneak preview if they went on during the commercial break, but do you mind sharing what it is that you are making available to our listeners today?
Absolutely. So I, too, am giving an ebook, and it really is my chapter from the book, Becoming Outrageously Successful. And that's what my chapter is on. What's the journey of becoming outrageously successful in your personal life and business? And in that, I share the 4 key elements for developing an I am enough mindset and the different characteristics to support you in becoming outrageously successful, whether that's your personal life and in your business.
Perfect. Thank you. So 2 ebooks hot off the press to really empower and support all of you on your journey. And just as a reminder, those you can find again at radiogifts.net. And for those of you, we had a moment behind the scenes where one of the guests were like, I'm trying to take notes from your section, trying to catch up. For those of you who are experiencing that, just a reminder, the replay will be available for your listening pleasure. And so we always release that. You can always go back and skip forward or go to that section that you wanted to listen to again that really will serve and support you. So please know you will always have access to the wisdom and the information and all that we're sharing today. It's really designed to support you on your journey to really be all that you are called to be and that you are becoming, because the core of my being, I know you are needed exactly as you are. And by being willing to share your life with others exactly as you are, it makes a profound difference for you, creates a huge richness in your life and for them. And in this heart space, I do have something I wanted to share with you that I haven't shared publicly. And that is, some of you have heard me share about my kitty cat, Nina. And she is the Tada cat that really makes an entrance when she comes into a room. And unfortunately, she passed away on September 2nd, so just a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago. And it's been a really rich and difficult journey as I grieve and I release her, and I get to walk, in a sense, publicly with that, because she's someone and something that I have shared her life with you as well. And what I have experienced, some of the gifts in the grief, is that I've been able to answer that question about what I need. And sometimes I've needed that hug. Sometimes I've needed someone just to listen while I share. Sometimes I've needed someone to pick up a ball I can't carry right now, and they have done it. And every time I have felt so loved and so supported by so many of you. And I want to thank you for being with me in that journey and holding me and giving me just that ever-present reminder that it is not a solo journey. And so many of you, when I have been transparent and I've been at a place to share, because sometimes I'm able to share, sometimes not, depending on where I am in the grief process or the celebration of our life, you get the whole range, then I've had people share with me, thank you for modeling grief. Thank you for letting me walk beside you in this. Thank you for trusting me with where you are in this process and honoring her, honoring your journey in this, and honoring her life in that way, and letting me walk beside you. And so I just wanted to, that was on my heart to share with all of you. One, because many of you have been enriched by, her name is Nina, by her life and so much of what she's given to us. And I want to make sure that I'm sharing in those highs as well as in those lows. That's part of being transparent with all of you. And I'm so grateful to have you on the journey. I'm so grateful for the shows that we've had together and the way we've been able to celebrate so much of our lives and our highs. And I also want to celebrate the lows, because there's so much richness in that. And it's such a poignant reminder for me that it's not a solo journey, that I can be vulnerable, that I can share my heart when it's celebrating and when it's hurting, and that all of that serves. And you all are such an important, and are so important to me and make such a difference for me. And it's such a privilege to be able to walk before you and with you and to celebrate the highs, but also to share some of those harder times in life too, and to honor the gift that she has been in my life, and I hope in yours. And I celebrate that with all of you. Let's take a deep breath together. And in this space, in our last few minutes of the show, I want you to remember that life is fleeting, that you make a huge difference every time you're willing to share your life with someone in your heart, whether it's in the highs or in the lows. It absolutely matters. And it gives us an opportunity to walk richly together with one another in a real way, authentically, transparently, that this is not a solo journey. That when you are willing, Karl, I'm going back to taking this mission. I hear that Mission Impossible phrase in my mind. Should you accept this mission of life? I hope that you choose to fully embrace it, to lean in, to say yes to bringing yourself forward, to really being willing to share the richness of who you are and be willing to share that richness with another and reach that hand out. Encourage that person next to you. Celebrate with them in the highs in life and the lows in life. It makes a profound difference when you're willing to be real, when you're willing to be vulnerable, when you're willing to share your life with another fully and richly. And it is your choice. And I hope that you choose to share your life fully. I hope that you choose, wherever you go, whatever you do, that you will always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. I look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.